how was your pee break?
My pee break?
They might flash you undetected.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I, too, am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. What is up, everybody? Holy shit. Suffice to say, TGIF. My God. There's coffee in here, but shortly it will be replaced with whiskey. I mean, what a week. I'm returning today with a little bit more of a will to live. Today's going to be a little bit of a different episode, I think in the best way, because it ain't just little old me today. I'm actually joined by a Hollywood, I would venture to say a Hollywood legend, who's a little bit more behind the scenes. And it's funny because we were going to have this off the rails. This still may be off the rails, but we were going to have this kind of like hardy har. She is so unfiltered, says what she thinks. But obviously in light of everything going on with the Charlie Kirk assassination, I, for one, have been it's all consuming for me, as you guys know. So I texted her and I said, listen, this is going to be a different type of show. It's obviously not going to be, a barrel of laughs. It's going to be a different vibe. We can totally push it. And she was basically like, throw me in the ring. I'm ready to go. And we're just going to have at it today. And it's also different because you guys know me. I'm a little studious overachiever. I normally have like all my little notes. And today with my guests, we're just going to go for it and have the real talk and the dialogue, because that's how we do here. It's just transparent. Taylor is on the rise 2.0. But I do want to set the stage before I bring her in, because I think that this kind of says it all. So I got a couple comments on the streams I've done the last couple of days. One from people around the world, Australia, Greece, you name it, saying how rocked they've been by this entire thing. But this one, I just really feel like this strikes it. It says, the politician murdered for speaking. The one guy on both sides who went out of his way to seek convo with the other. It's that reason we're so rocked. It's as if there's no point engaging peacefully. They'll kill you anyway. That's a profoundly depressing realization. Like literally that part right there. That part right there, while I'll just literally start busting out crying in the middle of my Catalina Crunch snack. Like, it's just wretched. And why this guest is so perfect for today is because her entire line of work is basically, she's a media coach to the stars, influencers, athletes, celebrities in communicating their message. So without further ado, this is Marky Costello. Okay, she has coached people like Khloe Kardashian, CeeLo Green, Kelly Osbourne, James Marsden. This is where my little notes come in handy. Like I said, athletes, actors, influencers, and a little fun fact about Marky. She did have a show on E! Drama Queen, and she is I believe this is right, Marky. You're going to come on to speak for yourself, but she is the granddaughter of Lou Costello, of Abbott and Costello, obviously one of the most famous comedy duo in modern history. So without further ado, there she is, Marky.
You got it all right, Taylor. I'm so proud. What a great open. And yes, it's been this week, it really weighs heavy because as someone who deals with media day in and day out, our First Amendment is that we have freedom of speech. And guess what? We're not always going to agree with each other, which is what makes us so wonderfully unique, is that my opinion equals my personality. And I teach that.
You literally do. I was there.
Yeah, you were there. And so when people say, well, how do I bring in my personality more? You put in your opinions. Your opinions equal personality. So we are at a place, and this is why it's such a fork in the road in media and social media, is that, okay, so if you don't agree with me, you take out a gun and kill me? Meaning, like, It's so frightening. It's like
Literally, yes.
scrolling on TikTok and someone will post this beautiful apple pie, and then I look in the comments to like see if there's a recipe. Maybe I'll make this for Thanksgiving, and I start to read the comments. I'm allergic to apples. I hate apple pie. Well, if you're allergic to apples and hate apple pie, just keep it scrolling. But
Like,
why do we feel that we're entitled? We have to tell them how a woman posted she was pregnant with twins, and then people were like, well, don't post it because you could lose them. I lost my twins. We're and whether you like Charlie or didn't like Charlie, no one deserves to die because they have a difference of opinion, because we might as well just close up the media shop right now.
it's Marky, it's beyond. I mean, you see the truly just despicable and unhinged, but even the more like the less over the top, even with family, friends, I'm literally like, there is something seriously wrong with you. Like, you are actually sick. And to your point, it is, and I love what you said about the apples and the apple pie, because it is epitomized entitlement culture. And obviously, this whole thing, right? This has been deemed a political assassination, but you're exactly right. It's even beyond politics. It's literally comes down to a preference of a fucking fruit, to
Right.
your point.
Right.
How has, and you're right, because you do, like, you help people create their brands and their message off of who they are.
Right.
And but it's like, but we didn't ask for this. I didn't
Right.
ask for this of who you are, right? How did we
Well,
even get here?
and that's where we are in media in 2025, where media should meet you where you are. So if like, hey, it's my first year of marriage, okay, document that. What's it like? Hey, I just had a baby. My postpartum, getting my body back, and balancing my husband, my kid, and my body. Like, we're with media, whatever's really truly going on is where we should be. So Charlie, the guy that shot him, Tyler, went to his event, went to an event. I don't know how long ago. I just saw this on social media. CNN was reporting it, or Fox News, or somebody. And he was talking on the mic, debating a bit with Charlie, but you could tell, like, when Charlie was like, I think college is a scam. And he's like, well, and the kid that shot him was like, well, why are you talking at a college? Once again, why not? And you could see how this kid is getting so aggravated because they have a difference of opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's everywhere you go. Everywhere. It's like it's everywhere. It's just such it's just sad, because in media, I teach people, you want to be authentic, you want to engage,
You do.
educate. Your opinion equals your personality. Let media meet
Yeah.
you where you are. So I don't know what this is going to do to media. That's what really scares me.
That's what I was going to ask you, Marky, because I've been having these conversations a lot. I've obviously given this a lot of thought, dusk till dawn. And it's so, people are saying kind of, Marky, what you've done and shouting from the rooftops, like, be you, you're authentic. I hate that word now because it's so whitewashed, but your views, your vantage point, your opinion, your walk of life, all of it makes you scream it from the rooftops. But now it's like, what, to get shot at? Like, how do you, it's so much easier said than done, that people are now going, be louder, be louder. Marky, I'm crying at the thought of going, I'm vocal, I'm very politically vocal.
Right.
Is someone going to shoot me on my doorstep? I
Hey,
mean,
I'm very vocal too. And guess what? Like, I mean, I get road rage, trust me. And there's times where I'm like, motherfucker, pull up. And now I have a 16-year-old who's driving, who's in high school. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, you can't have road rage, because I'm afraid someone will like shoot you because you cut them off, or vice versa.
no,
like,
exactly.
you have to suck it up, which is a really shitty place to be, that we can't be ourselves. We can't say what we're really thinking. We can't fuck up and like cut someone off and go like, oopsie, my bad, or like, fuck you because you just cut me off. No, it's frightening.
So I guess my question, Marky, is given that you literally mold and teach and coach how these influential voices speak, how do you guide them? What do you tell them? Do you say be even more unabashed? Like, what do you even do?
Yeah, this is how I guide them. Meaning, I wasn't a huge fan of Charlie. I didn't believe everything he thought politically. That wasn't, I had a difference of opinion. So he didn't come up on my feed. I would see him every once in a while. But meaning, that is the beautiful thing about where we are in media. I didn't have to follow him. And because the way the algorithms work, because I didn't connect to him and didn't watch and like a bunch of his videos, he didn't come into my feed.
Mhm.
So we have choices. If you don't like someone, don't show up at their rally to debate them if it's going to make you so angry that 3 months later you go and bring a shotgun and kill them. Meaning, if you don't like someone's apple pie, then just keep scrolling. If someone says that they're pregnant and how great it's going to be, and they're going to document the birth of their twins and the pregnancy and everything, like, if you don't like it, don't watch them. Like, you have so many options.
But how about on the other side, Marky? Again, say someone's coming to you and going, Marky, I don't know how to navigate this. I really feel strongly about this issue or that, but I don't feel like getting gunned down today in front of my kids. What do you tell them?
I would say, and I know this is going to sound crazy. You got to do it. You got to be authentically
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? Meaning, and if this is the place we are, like, meaning, then don't be in big crowds. Hide behind your screen if you have to. You know what I mean? Meaning, I hate to say it because, a loud voice is so important in 2025. And when I say loud, I don't mean physically loud. I mean with a strong point of view, with a strong opinion. Have your opinions and stick with it. And guess what? There's 7 billion people or 8 billion people in this world. If 500,000, 2 million, 3 million like what you stand for, then you're a huge success. You're an influencer. 4 million people follow this girl because they like her style. They like her political views. They like her wellness journey. They like to see her marriage or her beautiful house or whatever it may be. They like watching her on TV about sports. You have to be authentically yourself, and you cannot be afraid, because not 7 billion people aren't going to like you. 4 million will, 5 million. And here's the thing, just be mindful of, Charlie, look, he didn't care. Like, he always said what he thought, which is what made him such a big personality, right? And that's why he had so many followers and people loved him. And so many people showed up to his events and his rallies to debate him. So he did everything right, except that one knucklehead in the crowd that couldn't take it. So I say let's go back. Let's peel back the layers. Why are we in such a state that someone like him thinks his only option, Tyler, the kid that shot him,
Right.
let's go back a little bit. Like, what the fuck is happening in the parents' world? Like, how is this as a mother, and I have kids, if my 16-year-old came home and they weren't eating, they were moody, he said, I'm going to go to a debate. I hate this guy. This Tyler who shot him said at a family function, I hate him. They all talked about how they didn't like him and his different beliefs. But meaning, you didn't have an inkling as a parent, a friend. No one had an inkling that
That's what I wonder. It makes me so ill, and all of this is so new. And I've even seen today that he grew up. I think his father was in law enforcement. Was a cop, something in law enforcement. They were conservative and went to. I think he went to this all. All of this was informed by his college years. And I saw a tweet from a free thinking influencer. Again, same thing. Agree, disagree with some of the things he says. And he said, this is a common phenomenon. They go in one way, they come out the other. What is going on? Why is that? What's happening?
Why do we, if we go to a Chiefs game versus the Bills and the Bills win, do we, as Chief fans, are we like shooting up everybody because the Chiefs didn't score? Like, meaning,
Marky, it's so funny you say that.
Like, this is what, like,
that is such a great example, because I saw a photo of football players from two different teams. It was from one of the subsequent games, one of these nights. And the two teams are huddled around in a circle. And it was something like football players who are notoriously like any major league sports, they're adversarial, they're at it, they're whatever, are over here huddling together, hugging. And like these barbaric animals online can't even do the same. Like, what does that tell us? Like, you know what I mean? This is just basic. And you're exactly right. It's like the fact that this person, and there's going to be so much more that comes out, but it's really across the board with any of this. It's like, there's so much that goes into it, the politicization, the demonization of figures like Charlie Kirk. But you're exactly right, Marky, that the only option to end it was to end him. And that's what's so depressing. Even the comment I opened this whole thing with, which is, this man opened with dignity and grace, open dialogue, and he's shot down and killed. Like, we can't even have that.
do you think we're too sensitive as a whole? I was at my son's last year. I was at a lacrosse game in Albany, Oregon, for my son had made it to like the champion of this lacrosse tournament. I show up, it's rainy, so like I'm in the visitor section, and there's not one parent. They're all on the other side that has the covered because they didn't want to get rained on, even though like the sun was coming out a little bit. So I'm in the visitor section, literally by myself, and I'm behind like not our team, the other team, right? Like, and I go, my son scores, and I go, yeah, that's how I scream at the top of my lungs. That's how we do it. There's a parent on the sidelines. He turns around, he looks at me like an older gentleman, like, and I'm on the phone with my older son in LA, Lucas, and I'm like, oh, hell no. This guy thinks he's going to come over, walk the fuck over here and tell me to like be quiet or whatever. I just sensed it, right, Taylor? So I see him now turn around, start walking to me, and I literally go like this to my older son on the phone. I go, hold on. I look at the guy and I go, no. What, if you want to open your mouth and talk to me, no, I'm not the one. I'm not the one.
I am not the one.
My older son was like, oh, he has no idea the can of whoop ass. So sure enough, this motherfucker doesn't heed to my hand when I say, don't do it. You're going to be, continues to walk over and he goes, you shouldn't be. I shouldn't be what? Rooting for my kid? Rooting for my kid's team? I go, look around. I'm the only goddamn parent in this section. So maybe I have to be a little bit louder because I'm rooting. And he goes, well, I'm going to go tell the referees and I'm going to get you kicked out. And I literally go to my son, hold on. I go, I double fucking dog dare you.
That's a double dog dare.
I said, I can't think of anything more punk rock of being kicked out of a high school lacrosse game in Albany, Oregon.
No, literally.
Like, this is too brilliant. I go like, I will, And so my
suburban.
my point to that story is, would that parent 5 years ago feel it was appropriate? Was it because I wasn't with a man and I'm by myself and I'm a woman? Like, what gave him the fucking balls? Like, how is it like, meaning because I'm rooting for the other team that your kid's not on because we have a difference of opinion of what team I'm rooting for? Are we all fucking soft? Are all the lines?
Yes,
blurred?
actually. Yes, we are all soft.
Right.
Did he finish his what he was gonna? You can't do
No,
what?
and then
What?
he turned around like so mad and like scurried back because he had no idea if he was walking up to me what I was gonna like.
What was it even? You can't what? You can't cheer. You can't cheer this loud. You can't cheer this. Like, what was even the thing?
Am I cheering? I guess because I was being too loud. He didn't like it, and so I was a woman by myself without a man, and I guess I was being too loud for him. So he felt the need that he had to stop watching his kid playing and turn around and come and shush me. Where do you get the fucking balls, dude?
While you're saying if you had a man, he would have just given the side eye like this. And
maybe I literally, I was trying to figure out, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, I don't get it. I don't get why he feels it's so necessary to quiet me down or make me be quiet. Just like this guy, Tyler, why did he okay, you didn't like what Charlie was saying, so don't fucking go to the rally. Don't follow him on social media. Don't listen to his podcast.
Exactly. And you really got me thinking, as surface level or frivolous or silly as the apple pie example may be, you actually really have me thinking, because obviously this whole thing has become so politicized to where, again, they villainize this guy so much that they like literally akin to like a hit, like any morsel of a justification is literally sick beyond belief that these people can't even have common. This is Marky. This is first grade level human compassion. This is literally kindergarten level, and they can't even have that to go, this is really bad and this is not okay.
Right.
So I've seen it through that lens that they can't even bring themselves to do it because they're so in the trenches of some political purgatory. But your Apple example is so true, because it's literally, that's where it's permeated into that. It's permeated into if this person, if a mom does this, if a girl does this at the gym, if somebody makes an apple pie, we have to silence them. In this extreme case, murder them in cold blood. Right. But you've been doing this, again, you've been molding people. And like I said, I've seen it firsthand. You've done this a long time. how did the softness, the inserting, the shutting down, the making my non-Apple preference known, how did this start? I mean, you've been doing this so long, like,
I think it's access and jealousy. I think deep down,
oh.
I do. I think we all have access to everything. And I think because Charlie was such a big character with lots of following, very successful, a big podcast. I think that this kid,
Mm.
Tyler, didn't feel like his voice and credibility could match his. So instead of going, okay, well, it was fun debating you. Now I'm on my merry way. Like, if you voted for Kamala, okay, well, guess what? Trump won. The people spoke. Now keep it fucking moving. Like, meaning we're still neighbors. We can still debate issues. We can still, but I
Mhm.
feel like there's such a jealousy now in media because people now don't have to wait to get a TV show. You just start your channel, boom, 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 start posting. And if 3 people like something, I think people go, well, why aren't I getting liked? Why aren't I getting likes and favorite? Why aren't I going viral?
Ah.
Why is he like, so, I mean, and the sad thing is, Tyler, you are going viral. You're going viral for killing Charlie, and you'll go up against the death penalty in the state of Utah. If this is how you want it to get famous and go viral, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But this is the only thing I can think of is access and envy and jealousy. And
Marky, I actually hadn't thought of it that way. Again, even with the apple pie or the stupidest things, it's almost like it's such a deep insecurity and a powerlessness to have to, like, assert yourself and validate yourself and be like, "But no, apples are stupid. Apples disgusting." It's almost like, right? It's like a deep insecurity that where that I hadn't even thought of it like that, truly.
And maybe that
Right.
person commenting about the apples, maybe it's their way of being like, see, I'm smart, or I'm funny, or I'm quick-witted, or I have an
So
opinion. Like,
true.
you know what I mean? Which is like, you're stupid because no one, if you don't like apples, we don't need you don't need to watch it because everybody who loves apple pie will watch it and like it. And that's enough. You know what I mean? But the
That's
haters,
so true.
I just coached this big,
That's enough.
yeah,
And that's enough.
and that's enough. I coached this girl who had a book coming out. And we just worked on her book, and she got a famous husband. And long story short, she does her whole book tour, and like
Yeah.
halfway through it, she says something, and I go, she like immediately the publicist calls me and goes like, "You're gonna have to work with her on the hate that's about to come." So her and I spoke, and I said, "Look, it's not hate. It's just, once again, people, you're going to share something and people are going to go, well, I don't agree with her. She shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. Once again, okay, you don't have to agree with me. This is my life. This is how I'm curating my life. This is how I'm living my life. You don't have to live. Guess what? You don't have to live your life like I live my life." But once again, all of the hate that just came and the bandwagon of people hating on her because of a difference of an opinion of how she's choosing to take care of her husband.
It grosses me out so much, and I said this the other day, Marky, because obviously my entire brand is predicated on free expression, free speech, don't tell me what to think, or what to say, and I mean, that's what's so beautiful about this country in a place like this, and sometimes, like, when someone thinks so differently than I almost respect them even. I'm like, "You're a free thinker. Great. You don't think
Right,
like me,"
right, right. Well,
which
that's,
obviously is lost in Hollywood, which we're gonna get to.
I know. And one thing I want to say about our mutual friend Rob, when Rob had his talk show, the
Yeah.
shit Rob said on that talk show, I swear to God, if it was today, I don't know if someone would come into that. I mean, him saying to Suge Knight, like, how, your music is just as derogatory. I mean, like, who knows the repercussions it would have in today's market,
That
right? But
is
it's what
so
made
true.
Rob, it's what made Rob so fucking brilliant. But what's great about Rob in that sense was he could always, like, if there was a disagreement or a difference of opinion, he could always find like the common ground to, like,
Yeah.
okay, you think this and I think this, but here's what's great about, you know what I mean? And I just feel like we're missing that sort of common ground. And maybe it's a humanity issue. Maybe it's just where we are with humans. Maybe meaning morally bankrupt. I don't know. I don't understand. As a mom who has a 16-year-old who worries every day that kid goes to school, is some kid that doesn't have, like, my son is super obnoxious, super popular, wears his spider hoodies. I mean, I hate to say it, it's awful. Like, he's got his, essentials and spider hoodies and, chrome hearts. And I'm sure kids would like to, stab him, kill him because,
Mhm.
but I don't say to him, people are going to hate you because of a Chrome Heart shirt, or I tell him,
Don't tell who you are.
right,
Out of fear.
but he's also at that age where if I pull up and I have music on, now he drives, so I don't ever pick him up anymore. But like if I had music on, he'd be like, turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. Like, it's just that age where they're so,
Mom.
you know what I mean? But I think we're having a little tinge of that in where we are now with adults.
But I was gonna say, actually, with full grown, informed adults. And I love what you said about Rob. He is coming up next, and it's so true. It is such a testament to him and his gift. It was so before his time, because he just, the things that he said, it was so like, forget like the Bill Maher's and all, like he puts them to shame because he said the quiet part out loud, but they weren't offended, and it was like meeting them where they were at and actually bridging that gap. And Marky, I love a good competition. Like, I'm a Jew Italian like you. I take no prisoners, and I don't give participation trophies. And now I really you are getting interviewed by Rob after this, and I wanted to win in the better show experience competition. And now I don't know how it's gonna go, because
well, Rob and I we argue notoriously all the time. Like when Trump was running the first time, we'd be outside my studio like smoking. I'd be like, "Well, what about this?" He'd be like, "Well, what about this?" I'd be like, "But what about this?" He'd be like, "Well, what about this?" But I loved it because
I know.
After we would debate for 40, and there's times we get heated. Like
I know.
And he would laugh.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and he would laugh, and then he would diffuse it, and then I would be like, you know what? I actually feel a little smarter after our debate, Rob. Like I really would, because it was like, oh, I didn't realize that, or I didn't know that. Like, so Rob is ahead of his time, and and he has a gift of, he can be polarizing, but he's also super likable. And I think with Rob too, like, I hate to say it, I say to the younger generation when I'm coaching them in media, I'm like, don't take shit personally. And
that's true.
People are soft and they take things so personally. Like, to have a hater, it takes more to hate than to love. I had my very first hater recently, and I was like, oh my God, how great is it? I it. Someone I don't even know that lives like across the pond has taken time to write me 4 paragraphs of how much they despise me. That is the ultimate compliment.
You're like, I'm gonna put this on my fridge.
Literally.
To that, Marky, something you said really struck me, which was the fact that this kid, if it was him who took out this act, you put it in a way that was so genius, but it was almost like his way of like notoriety or going viral. And you're like, now you got your wish, and you're probably gonna die. Like, is this what you wanted? And it's so dark, and it's so, it's almost like it's like so indicative of our time. And it reminds me of the movie. Have you ever seen Ingrid Goes West?
Yes.
With Aubrey Plaza. Okay, it's like that, but this is like a dark reality version of that. But in the movie, guys, Aubrey Plaza is desperate to be, she's like this unhinged psycho. And Marky, it's exactly what you're talking about. She's desperate to be this like cool LA lifestyle influencer. And in the end of the movie, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen it, you're not going to see it by now. She attempts suicide, survives, and then goes viral. Right. And she's like, I made it. Right. Like, it's so sick. This is that
Charlie Manson
personified.
My dad testified in court against Charlie Manson. My dad was a hippie and was best friends with Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys. And long story short,
oh my God.
And but all Charlie wanted to do was be famous. He wanted to play music, like, he wanted to be famous, but he got his fame later from being notorious. You know what I mean? And people to this day, when it's his 50th anniversary of the killings, everybody does a Charlie Manson podcast. Everybody talks about Charlie. Everybody depicts and disciples and dissects every little, and people are fascinated. And I guarantee you, how many podcasts are going to be done on like the history of this kid Tyler and where did it, like, meaning we're going to hear all of this, and people are going to be mesmerized by any, like the first hearing when they bring him out in shackles. It's going to be on every news media outlet everywhere. Like, meaning it will. And so, I hate to say it, he will get notorious. I wonder if he'll even get a lot of followers if his social media is still up.
Disgusting. Marky, the man, that Luigi who murdered
example.
Did you see the recent photos of him? It's not obviously him, but his face modeling on like Sheen. I'm like, right. Damn, Sheen, that shamelessness just really surpassed anything I could have. Like, literal, and people, oh my God, and to take it the next step, people are commenting, his worshipers, as you're talking about, oh, he's not even worthy of Shein. He's Dolce and Gabbana. He's Versace. He's Louis Vuitton. Like, you people are sick. This is a murderer. Are you okay? Are you well?
FYI, remember when Luigi was on the run? Everybody was like, free Luigi. People were seeing him. They were like, go ahead. Like, people were like, oh, did he go this way? Did you see this man? No, no, no. Because once again, it speaks to where we are in the world where, okay, if you got screwed over by your healthcare, which we all like, insurance, it all sucks. Like, I don't care how much you make, how little you make, whatever. It's a shitty system that sucks. So, but we don't go and then kill the CEO of that shitty insurance company because we got denied our, benefits or something like, so once again, but look at how he's revered. And I listened to a podcast about him recently, and he was being interviewed over the phone. He gets so many women send him panties, pictures. They want to marry him. I mean, he says that he probably gets close to 500 letters a month.
It's so disgusting.
It's where we are in the world.
Where we are. Okay, Marky, I have to always, but I got to give the people what they want. And my followers want to pick your brain about this next one.
Okay.
Kind of goes into everything what we're saying. Okay. So you have been, I mean, obviously your father, grandfather, your whole career has been entrenched in Hollywood with the elite, right? In the epicenter of it all.
Yes.
And I posted today, and obviously my background in Hollywood as a red carpet reporter, nowhere near as lengthy or, as much of a vet as you are, but I've seen it from the inside. The group think, whether they believe it or not, it's like this militant, you have to be in line. And hey, Pyramid 7, yes, more coffee always. That's how unhinged I am, even at 6:30 p.m. On a Friday. And I see what's happening now. And again, being a free expression girl, Marky, I'm going, okay, these people rejoice in are horrible.
They're horrible.
They rejoice in, let's just for a second give them the benefit of the doubt, okay? But they rejoice in the arts and the expression. They're actors, for Christ's sake, and performers, putting on, playing different characters, the epitome of free expression on a stage. Cut to now, and we see a man on stage using his voice, free expression, advocating for and celebrating free expression, and getting shot gruesomely in the throat and dying, and none of them say anything. There may be a handful, Chris Pratt, the usual suspects, right?
Right.
Are you, and I know why, but it's like, again, wouldn't you think this hits a little bit close to home? Wouldn't you think they'd be a little rocked, a little bit like, could that be me? My entire existence is predicated on this very thing.
Well, what's interesting, because you bring up Chris Pratt, I mean, he got so much shit today for what he posted. I mean, people just came out of the woodwork hating on him. Like, they're like, you need to be canceled. And no, I'm never going to go see your movie. I'm unfollowing you. I like the people that are on social media that go, hey, I hate Charlie. If you want to unfollow me, unfollow me. I mean, because at least they're being authentically them. They're like, hey, I love Charlie. If you want to unfollow me. Let's clear out the cobwebs of my followers, because this is where I stand, whether it's for Charlie or against whatever it may be. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you like Charlie, hate Charlie, relate to Charlie, connect to Charlie. At the end of the day, no one deserves to die for having freedom of speech. And when we get to that point, it's scary. It's scary, and especially in media. And when celebrities don't use their platform, it's because they're pussies. They're afraid. They don't want to have any kind of backlash. The business right now is so tenuous. Like, the TV business is in the crapper. No one's watching traditional TV. I coached someone earlier, and she was like, I want to get an agent and I want to do this. And she did a reality show. And I go, well, why would an agent take you on? What are you going to host? What are you going to do? Have you looked at the landscape? Who's hosting? Like, unless you're an influencer like the Giggly Squad and like to be on the Vanity Fair red carpet, or, you know what I mean? Meaning, but, people are afraid. I think after the writer's strike, after everything that's gone on, and streaming services, and no one's watching traditional TV, everybody's just so afraid. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to, they don't want to network. Networks tell them, don't have an opinion. We want the people that watch Law and Order SVU to think Mariska, thinks everybody should da. Don't have your opinion. Meaning they don't want them to, because they don't want to lose a viewer because they disagree with your point of view.
And I guess, let's call it for what it is. To me, it's so, I respect somebody so much. You're exactly right. Who can just be like, this is wrong. This is wrong. If
Right.
you disagree, get off my page. Bye. See you later.
Right.
If you're justifying this in any which way, like right is right and wrong is wrong. And I have to say, I think Rosie O'Donnell is like a new breed of unhinged, but she even was like, she posted, she's like, wrong is wrong. This is wrong. Full stop. And I'm
Right.
going to myself, it's almost at the point, Marky, where I'm almost like the people who are just in celebrities who are going about their day, like who haven't said anything. I'm almost judging them at this point. I'm like, are you well? Like the fact that
Right.
you can't be like, this is a pivotal, like everybody's so rocked.
Right.
This is a defining moment of our generation. And you literally can't just be like, this is wrong, because you're afraid of what? And let's get to it. What they're afraid of. This is how sick it's become. If they say this is wrong, like the Chris Pratt thing, people will come out of the woodwork somehow thinking that the murder of a man in front of all of our eyes, they would be like, oh, you're on the bandwagon of a crazy MAGA right-wing extreme lunatic, are you? It's like, this right is right and wrong is wrong. You can't even call that out. I'm judging you.
No, Howard Stern last year during the whole, the election and everything. And he was, and he had Trump on his show millions of times. They were friends for years, but he was really a hardcore Democrat, and he has 3 daughters, and he was very vocal. He interviewed Kamala. He interviewed Joe Biden. Well, Sirius XM came to him and said, cut all the political shit. We can't talk about it anymore. Because you're alienating a portion of your audience. Yes, half your audience agrees with you, likes what you're saying, but the other half that doesn't, that pays their $369 Sirius XM subscription fee every 12 months, we can't lose them because of so that to me was such a defining moment, because I love Howard. I love how he interviews. I love how he has no filter. And I was like, oh my God, the king of all media, the shock jock, self-proclaimed, obviously, but I do love Howard, has been censored. The man that you couldn't censor. That's when it comes down to corporations, money, sponsors. And the whole thing with Sirius XM in the beginning was you subscribe. There was no commercials. You subscribed, you paid. Well, now not only do you subscribe, but they have commercials, and they have a board of directors, and they have to answer to somebody. And if the stock goes down, well, then the board is upset and the shareholders, and so you can't say that because we'll lose X amount of subscribers. It all comes down to money. So creativity, freedom of speech. Howard, who always was, whether you liked him or hate him, silenced, don't have your opinion. You know what I mean? And so it was and then I could tell, like when I would listen to him, I could tell he wanted to say something, but he was biting his tongue, because you don't want to bite the hand that writes your $500 million a year paycheck. You know what I mean?
Well, you may disagree. I had Larry Namer on, who who was the founder of E. I haven't released the interview just yet, and he and I talked about this both on and off air. And Howard is an example. I'm not gonna lie, Marky, someone who I always pursuing this path, revered. I have his book, for being such a shock jock, no matter how much of it was real versus just genius business at the time, going up against the FCC, the whole thing. And I feel like he's a prime example of somebody who's gone soft. I'm like, dude,
Totally.
I want some of that more. I want more of that.
Totally. I don't. I
on
used
the
to,
edges.
when Sirius would call me at the end of every year to go, are you re-upping your subscription? I'd be like, I just pay for Howard. That's all I have, because I have Apple Music, and I have Spotify, and I have all the podcasts I want, and all the music. I literally pay for Sirius XM so I could listen to Howard. I love his interviews, but you're right. This last year, it really fucked him up, and he got soft. And the show, in my opinion, I don't even listen to it as much. If they're just rambling on and not a guest, I'll just put my podcast on.
Okay, I have to no, it's true. I have to let you go in a couple minutes, but first, you are a Jewish woman, like myself.
I'm Italian and Catholic, but I was married to a Jew, and my kids are Jewish. So the Jews are my favorite. The Jews are my favorite people in the world. Absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting, because my mom.
Italians are like this. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, exact so my mom is an off the boat Catholic Italian, but my dad is Jewish, and
Love
so
it.
I pursued yes, but either way, as we're talking about the group think in Hollywood and all this, I have to know what you think about Hollywood just constantly throwing Jews under the bus.
Horrible.
Like,
Horrible. Absolutely
yeah.
despicable. Like, meaning, and once again, perfect example, like people were talking about it, then nobody was talking about it. You know what I mean? And so, and then it's gotten so shaky with like, oh, pro Palestine or pro, like it just everything once again. And then if you say something, people are like, okay, you'll never work again. I know a bunch of actors have just signed this petition to not work with like the Israeli film
Oh, I
committee.
saw that. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that.
Right.
Mhm.
And so once again, it's like, okay, you take a stand with that and sign a petition, almost like, okay, easy to sign, but talk to us. Talk to us. Where are you at with what's going on? You know what I mean? Or how, Jews have been, it's horrible. It's horrible.
And I would even you talk about peeling back the layers. And again, Marky, I was inside this machine. I've seen it, Marky. I've had when I was a writer for these big outlets, they would change the headlines, my words, then so I've
Right.
seen it and I've seen the micro examples of this. But even I am bamboozled and I'm like, where does this come from? I know it's so insidious and it's almost like the unspoken thing. It could be the managers, the representation, the PR, the celebrities themselves, the studios, right? To your point, don't say this, don't da da. We got to make money, don't alienate an audience. But where are they even getting informed? Who are they? Who's informing them? Like
Well,
angry
look at
niche
Stephen
people on
Colbert.
Twitter?
Look at Stephen Colbert. So, he was very vocal, and all the late night guys are very vocal about being like, not pro Trump and always dissing on Trump. So, Stephen Colbert, and, because his show is CBS and it's Paramount, and the big merger that, with, we all know what happened with the merger, and when you can't be a monopoly, so you have to go to the DOJ to get them to sign off on can we merge, right? And we will be basically a monopoly once we do. And, and then because Trump was suing 60 Minutes, which is CBS and Paramount, blah, 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 they settled with $60 million. But part of that deal was like Stephen Colbert either cancel him or never tell him he can never talk to me about me again. Well, he's canceled and he'll be done in a couple months, and he's still talking about Trump, and Netflix just gave him a deal, but that scared everybody as well. And that really, once again, Howard not allowed to talk, Stephen Colbert not having a show anymore. It's put the fear of God in talent that are talking heads, that are hosts, that are on camera personalities, that are media heads to go, oh shit. Like we're afraid because it comes down to money, greed, corporations, fear, right? Like that's why we do love social media, because no one's governing us except us, right? But once
Yeah.
again, it's gone too far because someone does need to govern a little bit, right? I mean, TikTok, like I'll have a scammer reach out to me and want to sell me crypto, and I report them, and it comes back like, no, they didn't do anything to, for the community guidelines. But if you say anything, if I said, I hate that shirt, I hate that shirt, Taylor, that would get flagged in the community guidelines as hate.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. It's all just so convoluted. I mean, TikTok, TikTok hates me. I will just say, like, everything I posted is like community guidelines. I'm like, I blinked twice. What did I even say or do?
Exactly. I
It's
know.
so psychotic. But what you're saying is actually, and as we kind of like round out here, it's fascinating because you're talking about the Colberts, the Howard Sterns being silenced. And the way I see it, it's that they're giving, I don't know, like the Kimmels, like to me, you line them up, they're all the same and they just say the same stuff and giving like the narrative, the Hollywood narrative, what it wants to hear, that very like leftist narrative, as you know. So I thought it was just like people were tuning out because it just doesn't reflect the every person like comment. And we're just like, dude, we're over it. Like, I don't even know. So I'm just so confused by the whole thing.
Well, and I'll let you go because I have to pee and I'm going to do it.
I have to pee too.
Okay. So I'll let you go, but I'll wrap it up with this, that, look, at the end of the day, maybe this is the big shakeup media needs, you know what I mean? And maybe the playing field will become more level. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I think this is such a profound moment in freedom of speech and where we are, that hopefully something good comes out of something so awful. And I'll leave it on that positive note.
And I will just piggyback off that before you go, which you taught me in class, but you really are, as passionate as you are, and I love it, you really are somebody who walks the walk. I was a student in your class, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, I don't know, 10 years ago, Marky. And before my site was Talk to Me Taylor, I don't know
Right.
if you remember this, it was called Stripping Down Celebs because I
I
was
remember
really
that.
okay,
Yes.
remember that? And I
Yes.
was and I was humanizing them. I interviewed them on a selfie stick and just really getting them to be honest. Like we were at Disneyland, like having the best time ever. And I remember you were like, just take it and go with it. You were like, you could even do like a poll of the week, like a play on
Your
Twitter
interviews were
poll.
your celebrity interviews were so good and so fun and so fabulous and so irreverent. I don't know if you could do that now if they would say, "Oh my God, you can't do that. You can't be like that." You could be like,
100.
"I'm going to flash you." They'd be like, "No, no, HR, we can't." Like, and you'd be like, "I'm fucking kidding. I'm not flashing. Like, I'm just bringing the room down to a funny moment." So I don't even know. I think once again, timing. Everybody has a unique sense of timing, and I think right now where media is, this is where you will shine.
Aw. Well, thank you. And thank you for actually, like I said, walking the walk and being about it and doing your work in that. Even baby Taylor back then and you being like, go full blown stripper pole of the week, stripping down celebs.
Yes.
And we have someone here in the chat's perfect for you to go. Someone saying to you truth in all
Truth,
caps,
baby,
Marky.
truth.
So,
Love your
all
work.
right. Well, have fun with Rob. It won't be as much fun as with me.
It never will be. Girls are so much better than boys. Goodbye.
Thank you, Marky Costello. Amazing. All right, everybody. Go off on your weekend, hopefully. And that actually, I really needed that. It brought some levity. I've just been in such an abyss with all of this. And I don't know about you guys. It's been all consuming. And I love someone in here who was a pyramid coffee 24/7. Yes, I'm going to have whiskey after this. But something to really leave you with before Marky and Rob take over at the top of the hour here on GNN is, and I know Marky's so right, what she said is like, if someone disagrees with you, keep scrolling. Like that's the beauty of our democracy. And something that I did a video today. You'll have to go on my Instagram at Talk to Me Taylor about Ilhan Omar. And I was just completely just disgusted and dumbfounded by words that she said the day after Charlie Kirk died, right? And I went on this whole thing. Yeah, Pyramid, it has been rough. And I went on this whole thing about it. And I've even taken some self-reflection and I really want to, have this in all of my shows moving forward and this wherewithal to, it's easy for us to be like, you're sick, you're this or this or that. You see it this way, I see it this way, but that's exactly it. They see it one way, we see it a different way. And I said in the video, you know what? Maybe I'm just another version of an Ilhan Omar. Maybe she could very well say the same thing about me. Like we are all so entrenched in the algorithm, what it feeds us, what we know to be true. Ilhan Omar or whoever else, they have a completely different algorithm feed than I do. What they think is true, what we think is true. And so that's something to bear in mind. And it may not be an easy pill to swallow, but it's something that I'm trying to be level-headed here and see it for what it is. Even if I see people with the most despicable thoughts, I'm going, that's what they've been fed. They think it's okay. They may think the same thing about you. So just be privy to that and realize that we think we are just as right as they think that they are right. Like we are so digging our heels in and rooted in it as the other people. And so hopefully it's not to provide all the answers, but hopefully it will allow you. I'm trying because I can get so emotional and so in it. You guys know hours after the assassination, I got in a fight with my boyfriend who was trying to make me see this. And I was like, just let me be emotional. And he was like, this is for your survival. So just a morsel to try to stay a little bit above the noise and think clearly about it is as much as we're coming from something, they're coming from in their own way, a similar place of what they think is truth, right? And I'm just going to leave it at this. This is an amazing comment by Pyramid 7. It's almost as if there are two different movies playing at the same time. I love that. Just keep that in mind. Your movie may be the best one, the right one to you. I know Talk to Me Taylor here on GNN is certainly the best movie y'all ever did see. No, but case in point. But just remember, somebody else's movie is going on at the same time. And, all we can do is, if we know ours to be true, is to show our movie, play your movie, speak truth to your movie. Love you guys. Thanks for sticking around, watching my combo with Marky, and I will see you all here on GNN on Monday. Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
They might flash you on the tip.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I too am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you
Does
already.
this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
No.
Around?
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me Taylor.